we don't usually get into politics on this show. President Donald Trump, he did a rally, one of his big, propaganda hate speech rallies. Being impeached. Today is actually the impeachment. Yeah. The lightest impeachment ever. Impeachment's an impeachment.
Impeachment.
The FBI called the FBI scum. Oh yeah, he's my president.
Obama.
Fox News. First Amendment rights. Trump supporter. We don't talk about politics. Crisis actor. Infowars. Sandy hooked crisis actors. Protests.
We never talk politics on our show.
You guys just went hard. I just watched.
Hey, everybody. Here we are again for another week of Breaking Glass. My name is Kevin Beecher, and with always is Josh Mazzei. And this week we got our good buddy back, Aaron Uretsky. Welcome.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah,
welcome back.
He lives so close to us, so he's just one of those guys where we can pretty much call him up and he can come down and work with us and get him on the show.
Yep.
He's got a lot to say. Especially this week.
Yeah, totally.
So we're going to talk a lot about a lot of things. And, this week we're going to have a little drink. I made us some traditional white Russians here with a little twist. We use some heavy cream and a little cinnamon.
Oh.
So cheers, all everybody.
Cheers.
Got our traditional Breaking Glass cups we got here.
Our vintage tumblers.
Homemade glass straws from Josh.
I've got the...
It's a good old
canvasback duck.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about the cinnamon? You like that?
It's a good touch.
Oh, you pussy. Anyway, so we'll jump right into this.
'Tis the season with a little cinnamon.
There's a lot of stuff going on. We thought this would be a kind of a fun show. We're going to talk a little bit about everything. But I don't know, right off the bat, what you got anything coming up? You got anything going on? Honestly,
no, not too much. No shows coming up. I'm probably not going to be attending Vegas this year. I might have some pieces on some various tables, but
just hunkering down for the winter, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Just going to be working.
How about you were just telling me about the pendant for charity that you're going to be taking part in.
Oh, yeah. Swamp City Gallery Lounge in Gainesville are doing they're doing like a toy drive.
All right.
And so a bunch of people are donating pendants, pieces, really whatever. Mm-hmm. So you basically donate a toy, you get a raffle ticket, and I think it's unlimited raffle tickets.
Oh, cool.
Towards various pieces.
So. When is that coming up? Is it soon or?
I don't know. I think the 21st is what's coming right to my head, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But check out their Instagram, Swamp City Gallery and Lounge. So.
Nice.
Well, we can segue right into that real quick, while we're talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
But Aaron's donating us a nice little gator tail pendant for the giveaway. We haven't come up with the plans for that. We usually announce that on Instagram. So I'm sure after this episode drops, we'll have a giveaway. But you'll have a chance to win this sweet gator tail pendant.
Yeah.
Probably a couple little stickers here, and we'll come up with something for that down the line. But
yeah, I didn't bring anything last time, so I want to make sure I had something this time. So.
Yeah, it's a sweet. It looks like it's a green, but it's actually a really nice transparent blue over a cadmium yellow for this green.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's how colorblind I am. We talked about that, but
what color do you?
It just looks very, very green.
Yeah. It's a. Yeah, I
mean, it's a nice color green.
Yeah, it is a nice color green. I used actually your pipe's green, right? That's the same color. It was like the same batch that was made from. Yeah, which is kind of this weird little limited batch that North Star put out.
Yeah, I wish it was more sparkly.
But. Yeah, it's supposed to be That's the thing. It's supposed to be Stardust over yellow, and there is no Stardust there's no sparkly dust in it. So they were handing out knuckles in the reception shop of North Star. But it's there last time. I was like, oh, you want a couple knuckles of this?
Well, it sucks every time I look at a piece now and everybody says something. I always have to second guess and question it just because I must be fucking colorblind.
Well, it is. I mean, it is really green. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice green.
It truly is green, but it is blue over cadmium yellow.
That's crazy.
So,
ain't yellow and blue make green?
Yeah, to make you feel better. I didn't realize that until they told me that. I was like, oh, that's a cool green.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah.
Well, I don't know. We got a little bit of stuff, but big news this week, which is today's a Thursday. Our president Donald Trump He came to good old
Not
Hershey,
my
Pennsylvania. Not my president. But, about an hour from here. And, he did a rally, one of his big, propaganda hate speech rallies where he just talks a lot of shit. I just, we don't usually get into politics on this show, but he said a couple things this week that I just thought was just every single day he says something crazy. But I mean, this week he was at his speech, which he kept referring to. He's being impeached. Today is actually the impeachment day,
exactly.
which is all over the news. But he called it a light impeachment. He said it's the lightest impeachment ever. I was like, how do you call it? We were talking about what's his name, Seth Meyers last night. He was talking about impeachment light. It sounds like a beer. But that's just ridiculous. That's the kind of impeachment's an impeachment. It's just like there is no light impeachment.
Well, his whole thing is about framing the narrative, or trying to get everybody to look at it this way, and he does that with it's always these little catchphrases. If it's going to be impeachment light, he just tries to make everybody think oh, this is just a watered down, not important thing.
Whatever he wants to call it,
Yeah. He just said, I said I have a hard time not watching some of the stuff and some of the things he says. And, one of the big things I thought was just insane that, all this stuff with the FBI and all this stuff, but he literally called the FBI scum.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just, how does any law enforcement person in this country after that be like, oh yeah, he's my president, I respect him. Yeah. And he's basically talking shit on one of the most oldest and craziest institutions in our country for law enforcement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's very disrespectful. They always talk. It's always what's in their favor to criticize. If it was Obama said something like that, it would just be it'd be so earth-shaking news, and it would just should be showing no respect for American workers and
he
government.
wore a tan suit. Freaking Fox News lost their minds for a month. Yeah. You're like, the tan suit, and it was just like, what? He saluted somebody with a cup of coffee in his hand. Yep. It was just like the end of the world. Stuff. We were all going to die, and people built bomb shelters and shit.
He was upset that the other thing I think that happened at that Harrisburg rally was he was upset that protester was removed, but not with enough force.
Oh yeah, she was escorting the lady out.
Yeah, the guy was just trying to guard her off like you would a toddler, without physically touching the protester. And he was yelling oh, that guy's too PC, he's not being rough enough.
He didn't do a good enough job in my book. You know? I'm like, really? This is a woman. She's just there speaking her First Amendment rights.
We don't need to throw her down to the ground and drag her out. And again, it just shows what an ignorance. Half the problems that are going on in culture right now is just the way we touch people. So grabbing a protester.
Another thing I said to you today that I caught last night on Twitter, and there was they were interviewing people the CNN and the different news organizations was interviewing people outside the event, and half these people were crying. They're like, I can't believe they're doing this to our president and bawling. And this one black guy got on there and was just like, yeah, there's gonna be riots and revolts and it's gonna be a civil war. Well, it turns out this guy's not from Pennsylvania, and he's not just some guy that's there to see the president. He was a Infowars correspondent. Basically, he was there to incite some violence and talk some shit, and he was trying to pretend like he was just some Trump supporter. And I'm surprised that CNN or whatever they didn't catch that, because they usually keep tabs on all those people. Yeah. But yeah, he totally was on the news, and they interviewed him, and he acted like it was oh yeah, revolution. All
but he got called out though, right?
He got called out on Twitter. Some other guy that follows all that stuff. He's the one that found him, and everybody's like, oh shit, good catch, because he showed the video and showed the guy's face, and he was basically undercover there, just trying to start some shit.
I see.
So yeah, I don't know. We're like I said, we don't talk about politics. We're not going to drag on it. Some of that stuff should just be something to talk about.
What do they call those? They call them an actor, some type of actor.
A crisis actor.
Actor. Yeah.
Infowars is huge for calling people crisis actors.
That's what they're famous for. So for them to do that,
they've been sued how many times now? The Sandy Hook people won from Jones or whatever. He had to pay, I don't know how much money, but he lost a lot of money over that. Basically calling people crisis actors, and their kids got killed. Yeah. He's like, oh, they're actors, and he tried to say that there's videos of them at other protests and stuff. It's like, dude, he's sorry he did that now. We heard him on Joe Rogan. He's like, oh yeah, I know, I take that all back. And
was that Alex Jones?
Yeah. Well, after you hit your pocketbook like that, you can't get away with spreading those lies forever.
Totally.
That's slander. Well, We won't talk about that too long.
Yeah.
We'll talk about.
we were literally just patting ourselves on the back the other day about how we never talk politics on our show.
Well, the only reason I brought it up is because
You guys just went hard. I just watched.
well, it's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's our hometown. We're Pennsylvania, you live right there.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I'm surprised at the domestic traffic up there. And stuff.
You know, honestly, it was funny that you say that because when I was driving on the highway. This was yesterday, right, or the day before?
Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. So
it was Tuesday when the rally was.
Yeah. So when I was driving on the highway, it was actually pretty clear, but I did notice there was a cop at every single exit and on every single overpass.
That's why.
Yeah, I saw after 3 overpasses, I was like, something's going on. There's some,
The motorcade came down the turnpike. And everybody said they had the turnpike shut down. It's like there was 50,000 cop cars in a big line, and I'm still waiting to see now how many states has he stiffed the bill. So it's been many, many states now where he goes into a place and then charges a bunch of money for all these cops and doesn't pay for any of his own stuff. We'll see if he does it to Pennsylvania, which he does it to everybody. So he stiffs everyone. Do you see? One more. It's hard because we could talk about this forever, but I thought it was really funny. He lost that case in New York for
his taxes.
Well, he was defrauding the charity for the. Veterans. And now Ivanka, or his daughter, his 2 sons, both have to take sensitive training courses.
Ooh.
What part of the settlement? He had to pay $2 million for the settlement, and all his kids have to take courses on how to not be a crook.
Oh wow,
that was part of the court hearing. So anyway, moving on. What are we watching this week? We could always talk about some shows. What's it?
The Servant. Yep, that was the.
You watch that?
I caught a little bit of it here when I was here on
Apple TV.
Monday. Yeah, because I don't have Apple TV, but
which
it
is
was
a
pretty
very
interesting.
odd show.
Yeah, it was odd.
And I don't know where it's gone. It's from M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan. It's really we keep thinking we have something maybe figured out, and then the next scene will be like, oh well, that can't be going on.
Yeah, at first I thought it was going to be like I see dead people kind of thing with the ghost, but then it's not.
We thought this guy's never left. In 3 episodes, this character's never left the house. He must be a ghost of the house. Then the next episode, he walks out. It's like, all right, well, but there's something. Yeah, with him, it's always a twist.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is, but it's keeping me interested.
When's that? Tomorrow's a new episode, right? Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
They
So I think
drop all
as
the
of
stuff.
right now, they drop.
Okay, so that's how Apple TV's doing it. It's every week or something.
Yeah, they drop the first 3 episodes so that you can kind of get hooked, and
see.
then after that they drop them out on Fridays.
I see.
Yeah,
they get you hooked on them because, like I said, they got quality stuff.
they do. And actually, even though I haven't watched that, they do have a big chunk of kids programming too.
Okay.
That's they redid a new Snoopy series and all sorts of things like that going on there too. But it has some good content. It's actually, I think, and more stuff is getting dropped all the time on Apple. Whereas, again, the whole Disney, we have the Disney Plus out there, and it's still pretty much The Mandalorian, which is hit a dry spot in the middle of the 8 episodes that we're getting right now. Yeah, it's just kind of they're just kind of bridging. You can almost see it happening right now. It's like, there's going to be some type of big finale that happens. It's like an edge of your seat, but during the middle of the season, it just kind of is lost.
I actually heard South Park commenting on that.
Actually, and then South Park made the new South Park. They made a comment just about that week in the middle.
Well, we can move into that because I actually have South Park on my list because we've been watching that and they just don't even give a fuck.
Oh my god,
I love those guys.
We watched that episode with the PC Babies the other day with Randy Macho Man transgender, and that is actually one of the craziest things I've seen.
That's definitely
transphobe. It was so nuts. I just couldn't believe that, and they were like, oh well, he's only been transgender for a couple weeks. And it's like, and then the Spice Madame,
the fecal transplant episode that was great. And then we just watched. They had a new one. We watched it this morning. It was
kind of. Yeah, I need to rewatch it.
We were. I did. Yeah, it was the Christmas special.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which they bring back Tegrity. You're gonna like it.
Yeah, that show keeps pushing the limits. It's amazing. I wish they put another movie. We just talked about watching Team America again.
Team America was
they
so
should put
great.
they should almost try to follow that up. And,
they are kind of due for another movie because it's been.
Well, they've really done 2. I mean, they did basketball. And
this is the South Park movie too.
But that was
3 movies.
16 years ago?
Yeah, 16 years.
17 years ago, something like that.
What would Brian Boitano do?
They pretty much said, I watched all the extras on the Team USA movie, and I
Team
think
America?
Team America, and they pretty much said we would never do this again because
I'm sure it was just
working with puppets
ass.
was so hard and so difficult that they would never want to do that again.
Yeah.
It was really disappointing to hear them say that.
Like, so we listened to that soundtrack still.
Yeah.
In my car. My wife the other day, we were driving to town, and like this shit comes on the radio. I was like, "What would you do?" She's like, "What the fuck are you listening to?" I was like, "This shit's awesome, man." I was like, "Chill out." I love that stuff. Did we talk about The
I
Irishman?
thought we did
never
talk about.
We did the other
Irishman.
night.
Did with
I
Junkie.
think me and Junkie did, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about The Irishman.
We watch so much shit. We gets all blended together.
I haven't
HBO has a new
finished
show
it,
on. Did you
yeah.
see the one coming up, the Stephen King with Jason Bateman?
Oh yeah, that looks really good.
Comes out January 11th or 12th.
I don't know if I actually saw that one.
I don't even know what it's going to be about, but it's something about with murder and some kind of freaky mystery shit.
Well, yeah, the mystery is like
Stephen King is
he's
good
like
at that.
accused of murdering some child, but and he's like, it absolutely wasn't me. And it was like he's got an alibi, but then they have him on camera 78 miles away, and he's with the little girl in the camera or security footage. And so it's like, so that's it, because it is from Stephen King. So you don't see anything real supernatural happening. It looks like just a crime thriller of like,
Then they showed a couple little supernatural, like the dude's in the basement walking around. He looks over and he gets scared. And So I've seen a couple new ones recently.
No, it looks like something. It looks good. A lot of times I don't feel like Stephen King stuff translates well to TV shows.
Way better than Jumanji too. So my wife made me watch that the other night.
How was it?
She seriously thinks, one.
The one.
And she thinks it's like the funniest thing in the world. And I'm like, she's literally watched it like 15 times in like the last 2 weeks. My wife's like that. She finds
It was
a
on
movie.
TV the other night.
Well, it's always on HBO and stuff like that. But
okay.
she watches a movie and then she just beats the shit out of it. So you just can't even like.
I have to admit, I didn't think. I mean, I hate big Hollywood movies and things like that, but Jumanji wasn't as bad as I thought it
wasn't
would be.
bad.
I can't remember why I watched it, but
It
I
actually
was stuck
really
in a
wasn't
room and I
for
watched
kids.
it.
I didn't think.
Oh yeah, not at all. Yeah,
Because I mean, they talk about boners and
all
kinds of crazy shit.
I think the second one looks even much funnier.
Well, she really wants
Yeah,
me to go see
Kevin
the
Hart.
theater.
It looks like it'll be me and Michelle going to see Jumanji.
I don't
too.
like to go to the movies very often. I definitely don't want to.
That is not one to go to the theaters for. If you're going to drag yourself out.
Oh,
this
last
December.
night we were watching it. She's like, "We should have totally went and saw that in the theater." I'm like, "No, no, we shouldn't." It's so cheesy. So we're gonna talk about what? Okay, I had something awesome. So we have a couple people at this table. We talked about this week tomatoes versus onions. I just thought this was funny, and then we started talking about eating tacos the other day.
Yeah.
And he was talking about him and his wife just buying tomatoes and starting a YouTube channel about smashing tomatoes. He's like, "We're just gonna buy tomatoes and just smash them."
Yeah, just destroy them in different ways. I like that.
We
Cheers,
both.
I'm with you, 'cause I don't like tomatoes
we both
either.
Fucking hate tomatoes, but it's not the whole tomato. It's just just a raw tomato. Like
I
all
eat
tomato
everything.
byproducts are good for me. You know?
Everything made out of a tomato,
Salsa,
I can eat.
sauce. You know,
I
all
just
that
don't
shit.
like raw tomatoes.
Can't do it. Actually, my girlfriend, she choked on a tomato on her birthday, and I had to give her the Heimlich maneuver in the middle of the middle of the fucking restaurant, and it ejected out and everything. And the crazy thing is like when you do that, nobody cares, dude. Nobody got up, nobody looked, nobody like congratulated me or anything. But like, we just sat down and ate, and it was, I mean, thank God.
I've seen that firsthand. Remember, I told you the story about Seltzer. The one time our buddy Brian, we were at the bar, and they had all that pickled meat, like sausages and shit, and behind the bar. A lot of bars have that pickled sausages and stuff, like real gross stuff. And everybody was eating it, and they were betting people to do shots of the juice and stuff. Well, we bet Seltzer to eat this sausage, and he didn't realize there's skins on these things. You got to peel the skin off. So he just shoves the whole thing. This thing's like this long. He just shoves the whole thing in his mouth. Just thought he was going to swallow it to freaking prove a point. Well, he does it and starts choking. And I thought he was fucking with me. He was just.
It sounds so familiar.
Like this, and I was just like, I just turned around, started playing pool. Well, sure enough, Brian's the kind of guy. He's usually like, do. He just fucking walked out the door. He said he was going to go out and die. He was like, I'm just going to go outside and die. And if you know the guy, you understand this, how he thinks in his head. He's like, fuck it. Life sucks anyhow. I'm going out and doing this. Well, our other buddy, Matthew, was there. He saw it, and he actually ran out the door after him and gave him the Heimlich maneuver out in the parking lot, and he gorped up this big old chunk of sausage in the parking lot. But yeah, Brian pretty much laying down.
Yeah, hers was kind of the same thing. I was like, hey, I dare you to eat this tomato because she hates them just as much as me. And she's like, what will you give me? And I just laughed and I said nothing. And I thought it was over.
Heimlich.
But yeah, that's what she just. Yeah, I just laughed and thought it was over, and then she just wolfed it down like whole, and just thought she could swallow it, and it was bigger than a grape. So, but yeah, it took a second, and we were like in this like horseshoe booth, so we had to like shimmy out of the booth as she's fucking choking. It wasn't like a throw it up kind of situation. But yeah, it was, fuck tomatoes.
I do that every year. I always say I hate them so much, but I it's one of those things I wish I liked because everybody, my family loves them, my wife loves them.
But we do.
She'll just eat tomatoes.
We like all the byproducts.
Yeah, I'll eat ketchup. I eat tomato soup. I can take a tomato. I boil it for like 5 seconds so the skin comes off. You don't make salsa with the skin on. I usually don't. So I'll take that. I make my own marinara sauce for fresh tomatoes. I mean, anything made out of a tomato. Now,
I like the flavor.
On the opposite end of this, we got this guy that won't eat an onion.
Yeah, I love onions.
On anything.
Onions,
I love all onions.
Yeah, and no byproducts. You won't see me eating French onion soup. The only reason I wouldn't steal your idea about the YouTube show is that onions are so offensive. I don't even want to be around them.
I don't even want to touch them.
I don't want to touch them. I would love to blow some up, but then there would be repercussions of that. There'd be like onion smell everywhere.
Going out to eat with this guy. Like, I've been out to so many restaurants with him, and there's times where, like, you'll just see, like, a flake of a scallion on the side of this big plate. Take it back. I don't want it. The other day, we were eating salad. We ordered salad. And remember, your salad came out, and the onion was on top, and our waitress was like, new waitress didn't know, and she literally just tried to pick the onion off the salad in front of him. He's like, no. He's like, it's going to have the taste of onion on it. I'm not eating it. Yeah, you can't even pick them off with him.
No way.
So
yeah, I mean, well, tomatoes are kind of the same, too. They got their fucking slippery juices that just get all over your bread and shit. When you order like a sandwich
juicy,
with no tomato and they put it on there and it's just like you can't even take it off, dude. It leaves its little imprint in there. Fuck tomatoes.
Oh man, no. See, that's solid.
See, I'm one of those guys where I don't actually. I usually try to
to
order a salad without tomatoes. Like last night, I went out to eat with my wife and salad came. I forgot to order no tomatoes, but I'll pick those off and put them on her plate, which that doesn't bother me so much.
Salad's not absorby as bread.
True.
Absorbent, maybe.
Like I said, I wish I could eat tomato on a hamburger. I really do. Like sometimes a good cheeseburger with a tomato looks kind of like, damn, it looks good. Makes me cringe. So, what else? So we had to talk where Vegas is coming up, and you said you can't make it. We got to go, and
with enthusiasm, we got to go.
No, we always got to go for Melt, and we go hang out, we see everybody. Her brother has his. You're gonna do the shot glass book?
Actually, we'll be releasing volume 2 of the contemporary shot glass.
Oh, that's cool.
And we're gonna have a signing party the night before out at LaFrancis Studios in Vegas. So all the artists hopefully all the artists that are in attendance that are in the book, we can get them out there and do a signing. So that should be fun. I am looking forward to that. Hopefully they'll get a copy out to me before then. I don't want to wait that long. But
we VIP for that then?
Oh yeah, we're totally VIP. They'll come pick us up even.
Limo?
Yeah. Limo.
Yeah, part of me wants to fly out just for the party, but
can you do that?
Maybe, but you know what, dude? The good thing about Vegas was when it was at the Westgate, my aunt worked there, it was like a very good situation.
You can always crash with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm still on the fence about that part.
I barely sleep while I'm there, so
yeah.
We can share a bed. We can take timeshare on the bed because I only need like 2 hours a night.
All right.
But so we were talking about Vegas. A question our producer here was telling us to come up with some questions, that some people might want to know. And we were talking about how to evaluate our glass. How do we go about evaluating our glass? We figure you're a good guy here. You work at head shops. You've worked at a bunch of head shops.
Yeah.
So how do you evaluate your glass?
I mean, so much goes into it for sure.
Especially in terms of cost and worth, right?
I mean, me personally, I generally think in wholesale, like when I'm making something. So I just start there. It's like I usually just think of the wholesale price. Mm-hmm. And the retail price, is usually doubled that. But, it's not that all the time with super heady pieces and stuff like that. But it's really, the amount of time that goes into how long it takes to make the piece. I mean, where you're at in your career. I mean, a lot of times people think, how long does it take you to make that koala or whatever? And it's like, well, it takes this many hours, but it also took me, I've been making the piece for 6 years.
Right.
So, and it's very different than when it started. So it's hard to really say, but all those kind of taken in, and then you count like market value, like for me, if I make, kind of like a stony little cartoon character, try to align it with the other people as long as I don't think it's like an outrageous price. I don't like to completely make them unachievable for my fan base, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's always a tough question, but luckily I kind of figured it out for my pieces and kind of just market everything, and I try to create like tiers of pricing basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I have something from in this range, and then something in this range, and then something in this range.
I kind of feel that too. I mean, I always feel that, you know, we just had some sales this week with some guys, and he was telling we undervalue our work, you know, from what it is. And
I agree with him.
I do too, to some extent. But I feel like, you know, we try to sell the stuff, we try to move it, and it's all about getting it out there. And to me, you know, like he said, it's 22 years I've been doing this, and you know, people say, oh, you should be paid for your time, how long it took you to make this piece. You know, it might have took you 2 hours. You say it takes you 2 hours, but it took me 20 years to get here.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
You know? I kind of feel like I'm more of like an hourly guy, you know, because I never considered myself an artist. I always considered myself like a craftsperson, you know, or tradesman.
Well, and you can take your experience and turn it more into your hourly wage.
Yeah.
You know,
that's kind of
like,
how
I want to
it.
get paid because of my 20 years experience. I want to get paid $150 an hour, let's just say, or something. So that way, you know, you put 2 hours into a marble, it's like easily $300 would be like a good place to start or something, because it's an epic marble or something. And I'm just throwing numbers out there. I'm not a marble guy.
Yeah.
So
well, it's probably close to being right though.
Right,
you know, if he spent me, I'm more like.
Well, I just more so I don't make like big marbles. I don't know actually how long if it takes 2 hours, but
some of them take 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it depends if you're dot stacking or you're just on a simple diachrome marble.
But in the sense, it's like then you feel kind of weird. It's like, am I worth like $150 an hour? It's like, well, yeah. I mean,
I always feel like I'm worth $60 an hour.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Because
like,
I feel by the time you add gas and, you know, your propane, oxygen, your glass, and then your experience, you know, if you take all that out, that's like $30. So really, you're only making $30.
Yeah, and in the real world, that's pretty. You know, that's an okay wage. You know,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, would be happy with $30 an hour.
You know, most warehouse workers make $20 to $22 an hour.
Exactly.
You know, a good carpenter might make $25 an hour. My wife's a nurse; she only makes like $38 to $40 an hour, or something like that.
Well, that's what I'm going to at least do myself at 48 hour.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I want to make as much as Shell.
She should make more than that. Like, she took a pay cut going to the Department of Health.
I know.
When she worked for the other place, she was making like $50 an hour.
Yeah.
She took a pay cut working for the state.
Yeah.
She just had better benefits. But I still think, you know, I some of these guys, you'll watch some of these big artists, you know, and I've seen them work for, you know, 45 minutes. And then they put like $7,000 on the tag.
Yeah.
You know, I still come back to my gong at the marble show. What, how many years ago was that? 4 years?
Yeah.
Something like that. And he did a demo piece. He made a pendant, this big honking pendant. He thought it was a joke. He was like, just joking around. And this woman walked up to me and she was like, oh my God, I want to get that pendant. I want to get that pendant. And this lady's bought glass from me in the past. And I was like, oh, cool. She came back out and he did this little thing and like sold the pendant to her. $7,000.
Damn.
She watched him make it.
Yeah.
In 45 minutes. And she was like, came up, she's like, I won. I'm like, oh, great. Then she was trying to buy a set of wine glasses from me.
And get a
and
deal.
it was two wine glasses that I had a $150 price tag on.
Pulling
for two of them.
pulling
Took me a
teeth for
day.
$150
Yeah,
bucks.
took me a day. And she literally like was just like, well, you think I can get these for $100? And I just looked at her. I was like, you just spent $7,000 on a pendant that you watched a guy make in 45 minutes. I was like, these took me an entire day to make. And I was like, and you're trying to beat me up over $50? And she's just like, oh, I'm sorry. I never really thought about it like that. You know, it's like, that's how people are though, you know, and like I said, I don't know.
Well, and you know, like for a lot of those guys that get that kind of price, it's like, if people are willing to pay that kind of price for that work, it's like, why would you charge less?
Sure.
You know,
I ain't holding that against him whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that's kind of like if somebody wants to pay me $10,000 for an alligator piece, and another person wants to pay me, then they might just be $10,000. I mean, it's just like that's where they're valued at, you know.
Well, I always tell people if somebody says they want to spend $2,000 on a piece. I mean, a lot of times when somebody orders a custom piece, I'll be like, "Well, how much do you want to spend?"
Yeah, I like to go about it that way too.
I have a hard time with that for some reason.
Well, it's because somebody might tell you, "Oh, they want some crazy piece," and then you make it and be like, "Oh, I want 2,000." Like, "Oh, I was thinking like 500." You know, it's just like I like to have an idea before I go making a custom piece what they want.
Oh yeah, for sure. You need to have some parameters, but that can't be the sole parameter.
Yeah,
you know, for me, that's just a hard way for me to formulate it, I guess.
And some pieces I'll bend,
but
some pieces I will hold my ground. You know, because some pieces are just worth more.
Yeah,
you know, and we know we get into them. We know what kind of time we have.
I'm stoked what I get for my work.
Yeah,
honestly.
me too.
Yeah,
like
totally. I'm not trying to push it anywhere near there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times me and Josh will work together, and you know, we might spend 2 days on a nice rig. You know, and we both equally work. He'll do a lot of the prep work and stuff, and I'll build all this thing and put all the marbles on. You know, and if we work 2 days each, that's 4 days worth of work. You know, we should be making like $350 to $400 a day.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where I feel comfortable. If I make $350 to $400 worth of glass a day and be able to sell it, I can live on that. No problem.
Yeah,
I
no
mean, if I
problem,
can do
yeah.
that every day of my life, shit, I'd be rich. But, it doesn't always work that way selling it, I can make that much glass, but can I sell that much glass?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's this thing going into Vegas, we got to go. We have to pay to go to these trade shows. We have to pay to go travel. And I mean, how about the time we get back? I mean, luckily for Glass Vegas,
they're sponsors from Melt, so we get
hooked up with rooms and our booth. But we still spend, hotels and
actually we get a hotel room with our
True.
room,
Okay.
with our
Well,
booth.
that's a bad example. But any place else we go to, we have to pay for all that crap, and we eat like kings.
Yep.
We
Yeah, we
drink
do.
like fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when
that's
we're
where
there,
it
I
gets
usually
us.
drop $1,000 gambling because I'm a freaking degenerate, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just like, I don't know. I kind of just want to get on the work and stack up some money and save some money thing, and just kind of, I went last year. It was fun. Made some good sales. But I mean, last year was kind of the first year that I made like a lot of sales, like all the previous years, it was just kind of like I made connections and then the sales came afterwards.
We never make sales there.
Yeah, man. I do not do well at that. I mean,
Well, not to like discourage anybody from going, because there's plenty of connections to be made, and it's a badass party.
Some people really do well.
Yeah, people do great.
For some reason, we just never do.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we're like that when we're there. We are more about Melt. We are. That's not like we're.
Well, last year we were trying to do this show. We were trying to
doing a bunch of
do
episodes of
podcasts
this and
and
I don't sit there and like work my booth super hard either.
No.
I'll be I'm wandering around trying to get people to come back for Melt or talk to for the podcast.
last year was perfect with Scuba distributing. I kind of just hung out and I just went out. I'd get high and come back and just it would be perfect. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, look at him. It looks just like his koala bears," and I just smile and I can sell some.
I have a bunch of my friends that work with that Walton, not with Waldo, no Walton House.
Yeah, that's Scuba. Yeah,
That's Scuba. Okay, yeah. And so that's nice. Yeah, like a couple of my friends do that. And they
he
love
killed it
'cause
last
everybody,
year. Yeah.
he just sits there and reps a bunch of people. They can all come. They're at the show. Just he asks that they hang out a little bit. And
we need somebody like that for us.
yes, we do.
We need
Well,
to
that's why I wanted Zig.
We need to hire Zig. He's coming out tonight.
I'm serious. I would. We could. People always tell me we under our value work. We could just raise it enough to pay for Zig, and then he could do all the sales.
Yeah, I mean,
And we
that
would
you see
sell
a lot
more.
of success with that. I mean,
Yeah.
what is it? AKM and his manager. I mean, those guys kill it. Just a
Junkie dealer.
I didn't know there was a team.
Junkie has Junkie dealers.
It's something I think we just need to start thinking that way.
I've mentioned it to Zig many times. I've thought I can put the work into like developing. Yeah, anyway, we can have this conversation off air.
Yeah.
But
All right. Well, we are going to move on to our topic of the week, which we wanted you here because you kind of have some inside scoops on some of this stuff. But there's something going on in the Boro world, which we think is hilarious, which is called the Boro News.
Oh yeah.
Which just came out, a couple weeks ago?
Well, I think
November 26th or something like that. I was like,
It sounds like you know.
It feels like it was a little bit more than 2 weeks ago.
it hasn't been that long.
But
anyway, there's a Instagram account called the Boro News.
the Boro News.
And basically, it's a satire site that just
It just
busts
roasts
balls, and it's a roast. It's a roast
Yeah.
for people that they know. Now, the thing is, nobody knows who this person is.
Yeah, it's pretty
we
good.
had some ideas who we thought it was, and it just, I don't know. It's just, it could be a couple different people, but whoever it is, they speak well.
Yeah. Well, even though they do get a lot of comments about poor grammar.
Yeah.
And he has a whole page about editing and going back and having to edit them.
Yeah, you'll see the posts on the.
I didn't realize there
story.
were that many Nazi or grammar Nazis in the glass world. But again and again, you'll see some glass artists will be like, "Hey, Boro News, grammar." And
Yeah, some of the trolls are on the comments are even like,
Well, that's what makes
Better
the
than the
whole
news
that's what makes the whole
itself.
thing
It's
worth
like,
it
oh my
because
God.
the people commenting on these things are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can talk about a few of them, and there was a couple of them like when it started off earlier, like the very first couple, they seemed a little meaner,
Yeah, for
And
sure.
a couple of them really got out of control quick. I mean, for example, there's anybody that's hearing this and they start looking it up, you're going to read down, start at the beginning and start looking at some of them. Merck's was one of the ones that caught my eye.
Yeah, that was like kind of the beginning of it. His was definitely the harshest.
Well, that's
at
where
first.
I kind of started following it because I follow him on Instagram, and then I was sitting there reading, and he was like, "Oh, look at this shit," and he's like, "I'm talking." He started talking shit, but it was like just off his page. So then I looked up the Bora News and then started reading the comments. Well, his got a little dark, It started talking about all kinds of stuff that I was just like, wow, they went into like child abuse and like all kinds of crazy shit that really just got dark.
Well, again, the Merck example is a good example of like how do you respond to this. He kind of took on a more of a
abrasive, like just
an aggressive stance to it.
I'm sure he's not the first person to be offended a little bit. Other people that might have been offended just took
how they take it. Totally. It's like how if you feed into that into this social media stuff, people are just going to run with it and throw more and more hate onto it.
Yeah.
That's where it comes in. Some of them are puff pieces. Some of them, look at Ethan Windy's.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's just the nice guy. Him and what's his name? Nate.
Nate got the nice guy, and Ethan got he's just handsome and has an MFA in pain and so talented. Fuck that guy.
And they're just like such nice
I totally
things.
agree with the one on Ethan. Fuck
Ethan. No, but it's true. Like they are nice guys, but they just kind of got the short end of it. And then some of them just kind of like, just today they had the one about Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like facts, the things. Not saying the story about him and him drooling and all that kind of crap. But
did he really light up an email? That's what did he?
I don't know. I wonder if that's true.
I saw a couple comments that made me think that I was like, oh wow, did he really do that?
But I did see him. He walked right by my booth at Las Vegas, and when I first saw him coming, I was like, who's this little fucker? It's like he's not a big guy. He's built. He's all ripped and shit, but he's a little short guy. He's kind of like Danzig. He's like all buffed out, but he's short.
Yeah.
I was like looking over his head. I'm not a big guy.
And he had all tall prostitutes with him.
Yes, and it was like
super
the
tall
girls
ones.
that he had at him with him at Las Vegas, they looked beat the fuck up.
Yeah,
they did not look like the ones in the pictures, like the models in the pictures. They looked like they got hit with a shotgun makeup gun. Just blasted in the face. He just lined them up along the wall.
Oh, it was bad. Yeah,
just makeup looked horrible.
Yeah,
and he walked around there and just kind of like
with his security guys.
Just kind of
I didn't get too much of a good glimpse, and where he made those subliminal purchases was kind of like by Walton's booth, but I really just saw him the entourage and him walk by.
Yeah,
but I really didn't.
He had his security guys like kind of like walking through the crowds, keeping people back. Like, who the fuck are you, dude? You're just a dude. You put your pants on just like us. You don't got to have your guys.
Barely.
Like,
that dude wears shorts.
Not like everybody's bum rushing him trying to freaking suck his dick.
I've never seen that dude wear pants.
Yeah. Yeah, put your shorts on. But.
He really, from what I understand, he talked those guys down a lot too.
Who, the subliminal guys?
The subliminal guys,
really?
Yeah. They really gave him a good deal because they thought they were hoping that they were going to get a lot of promotion and whatnot out of it. In fact, that's one of the things the Boro News article was about, was that he did buy a lot of glass, but then he never...
Yeah, just sits
on it. He never really posted a whole bunch of it.
He did make a video. I did see the one video on his page where he posted him hitting AK-47.
You see him every once in a while for sure.
Yeah, but they were hoping to get more traction out of it, and they kind of gave him a deal because of it. They gave him like the celebrity discount or whatever. And so, yeah. I don't know if that...
he's not your typical heady boy collector, that's for sure.
Right.
Well, he has the buck chandelier, and he buys all the buck pieces.
That shit's pretty epic.
Yeah, and he definitely supports the big guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's why a lot of the comments on that Boro News was like, people like, oh, he supports the glass. Like, he supports the big glass blowers. He's not buying anything from any little guys. Like,
that's true.
He's not really helping the industry. He's just basically buying like the craziest pieces he can buy just to be the rock star he is.
Yeah.
But they definitely roast people on this page, and that's pretty much anybody that takes it without like a grain of salt, they're missing the point. They think, well, you're ripping this guy and this guy. It's like, it's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. It's supposed to be a joke. If you actually get on there, you should actually kind of be honored because it's like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. It can be a badge of honor, but but you can't deny that he does kind of go for the throat on some of this stuff. I think he definitely is walking the edge. I did a...
or she. You don't know if it's a he or she.
Yeah.
I actually did an informal poll on my page yesterday, and I asked, it was like the vote is, I was like, is it Boro News comedic roast or toxic sludge? And it was up for 24 hours, and it was pretty interesting. It fluctuated over the course of the day. I didn't know where it was going to go, but it ended up at 66% to 34%. So 66 ended up being comedic.
Yeah, that's what I voted for.
And most of the day it was like up in like 70-30. At one point it got definitely down to like in the 50 percentile.
Yeah.
But that was just for a minute, and then it went back. So
people bitching about it, just don't follow it.
Yeah,
I don't see what the problem is. That's like the glory of social media.
It went from like a couple thousand to like 11,000 like overnight.
Well, you keep seeing they keep getting all those bots and stuff.
Yeah,
deletes.
Well, anytime like Instagram follows that stuff, so anytime there's a lot of times where if a page starts taking off, you'll just start getting that stuff, so they have to filter it out real quick.
Yeah.
But I know. Well, one of the ones I thought was funny as shit was the the tree he had in the bathroom.
Oh,
Clinton Road.
Yeah,
And that was hilarious. I mean,
That one
and
was
he
pretty
took it
good.
great. He was like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, we asked to use the bathroom, and we walked back the hall. Sure enough, there was
the
the
toilet
tree and
paper.
the toilet paper. It had some yellow stain to it that definitely wasn't paint.
Totally. Again, that's just a great way. I mean, Clinton could be super offended by something like that, but he didn't.
knows
I
it was
mean,
just-
I think it just really shows it's how you handle something, and because you just end up feeding it if you take too much offense to it. And so I don't see, when I look at it, because I realize that, I don't see the toxicity of it really. I mean, I know it's kind of there, and I kind of like, but
Yeah, it's just like you could see it. It's just like I mean, a lot of the mean stuff, and I'm not gonna say all of it, but a lot of the mean stuff is like, it's kind of like true, or you know, so it's kind of like it's not something that people haven't heard, you know. It's just a rumor that gets brought up.
Well,
again.
go
So
with
it's
it,
sour,
and it's
but-
told with that fun way.
We'll go back to we can kind of dive into that a little bit, where you have a little insight on this, and with Chad Lacey.
Oh yeah.
And that one was kind of funny, and they were like, "Whoa, we lift up the cage, and there's Rye sitting in the freaking."
Well, yeah, Chad and Adrian are good friends of mine. That one was fucking funny.
And he had a good response
He
to
did,
it too.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, well, we fed him lobster and gave him margaritas or something."
I don't know why he's crying. Yeah.
They were like, as we freed him, and he ran out the cage. He was like, it was just one class. It was just one class.
Yeah, I imagine they probably took that one great.
So that's the story.
Well,
Is
they did.
she took a class from him, or she just kind of?
I don't know
watched him?
100% actually what went down there. I mean, I'm sure there was some initial inspiration from Rye, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Carving glass though isn't like nobody owns that either. You know,
Yeah,
so like
yeah. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
he
I-
might have maybe.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
Well, I
he's got
think you can
style to it,
see
but I
different
think their
styles.
styles are different.
I think you can see their styles.
It
being
becomes
different.
it becomes like their drawing style. Just
But
because like
anytime
two
you
people
teach a class-
tattoo doesn't mean that you're ripping them off.
If you teach a
tattoo.
class,
you have your
period,
own body of,
and it could be
of
anybody.
style.
It could be you or your brother teach a class.
Yeah.
If you teach that class and somebody, your students, takes that and does what you taught them, you can't hold that against them. They
Yeah.
paid to see how to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you're kabukiing.
Yeah. Well, that's on the artist and that's on the apprentice. For
That's Japanese
any
for being
apprentice
upset when
should
that
want
happens.
to move and strive to be something else. They shouldn't just see what their teacher taught them and be like, I'm going to make that. It's like if somebody teaches you something, make that, but make it your own.
Yeah, and I don't think Adrian was intentionally trying to steal anything.
Yeah.
I think she's an amazing artist and kind of kills it in her own way too.
Well, that refers to the one we talk about. They have the juice box on there. And that's the one with Shelbo, and it's like his Goblins.
Well, yeah, Juicebox ripped off Shelbo.
Yeah, it's 100%.
Yeah.
And that is a 100% ripoff.
Yeah,
he
that's
never
like-
took a class from Shelbo.
No, he just totally.
He just took that exact replica and made it.
Yeah.
Now that is a ripoff.
Totally.
That's not saying, hey, I learned how to do this from him, and that's how I know. But no, he literally
yeah, don't they like
makes it-
battle online about that? Or at least they used to, when it
Well, it
first
really
came.
wasn't. I don't think Shelbo so much about it. Shelbo's actually always kind of kept out of it, I think.
Maybe I don't. Maybe.
I never really heard him. I mean, you never really hear him talking a lot of shit. He usually keeps kind of quiet about it.
Yeah.
He might talk about it behind the thing, but you never
I don't
see him.
know,
I
yeah.
don't think you ever see him post anything about it.
I have a Shelbo memory where he was upset with some kids that bought one of his heads. So here they go and they spend $3,000 on the pendant. Then they made a mold out of it and made gummies. They weren't like, I don't think they were trying to go into business, but they made some, and he was kind of like put off by that or something. And I was like, well, it's like
That's weird.
found art at that point. Like, found art's
Yeah.
even something like that's such a there's the
Would be like me taking
just
my
it is. It's
Darth Vader rings and
it's an
pushing 'em.
appropriation of something that so like the way Juicebox did it and then
Well, if you read those comments, though, you start getting into that, and those people start getting into some heated debates. And, Juice, but there again, when I started hearing about Juicebox, and I mean, he says he's only on the first 100 Goblins.
Yeah,
and he
like-
took an orders for 400 Goblins.
Yeah.
So he's still 300 Goblins behind, and it's been 4 years. People are saying, I've been waiting for 4 years for mine.
Jesus.
He's like, nobody wants off the list. Anybody wants off the list, the next person gets in line. I was like, now, if it's been 4 years, in 4 years, you should be able to make 300 Goblins. I mean,
Yeah.
you should be able to make 4 of them a day. The way I see it. I mean, they're not like that complex of a little thing to make.
Yeah.
And he's basically making people, he's like, well, I don't do this full time, and I have kids and all this. And I was like, well, why would you even take orders for 400 Goblins if you can't make them? So, I mean, there's a lot of, the conversations on those things really get kind of crazy.
it'd be interesting to see like a little blowback on all the people in that post though and be like, oh well, hey, so which one are you, the people that just support this knockoff artist that are upset? Because everybody being upset are really just
supporting some douchebag that totally knocked somebody off, that's being overlooked in that thread.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I think
So,
here's
which
where
again, I'm not down. I'm not saying it's like. I'm just saying that's a.
Well, here's where it
valid-
comes to the Boro news. I think at the beginning, those first 7, 8, 9 posts, it happened so fast that people weren't really understanding what it was or how to take it.
Oh, yeah.
And then now that they're going on and on, everybody realizes now it's just a joke.
Yeah.
And at first,
Yeah.
a couple of these people just really took it to heart and just got kind of pissy about it.
Yeah, totally.
And now everybody knows. So
Yeah, had some of those other ones came out sooner or later down in the chain, maybe they wouldn't have been taken so harshly.
Yeah.
So one of the things though we were trying to. I don't know that we even have much to say. Well, actually, I guess I have a little bit to say about it, but we were trying to originally figure out like who was this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you guys at now? It's even been a couple days. Do you think it's a team of people? Do you think it's
I think it's a dude. I think it's one person, but I don't really know.
It's somebody that's in the scene that
Yeah.
know a lot of these people very well.
And it's somebody who's been around a while, because again, everyone I talk to, we always talk about like how they're picking out stories that go back 10 years.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
So.
I mean,
it's
the one about Elbow was,
Yeah.
like that was him and Saki.
Yeah,
They got married when I first started blowing glass
Right.
like years ago or some
Totally.
shit like that. I remember hearing about that. Or being married, or some talks of marriage, or something like that.
I honestly, like I said, we've had our thoughts.
Yeah.
we honestly thought it was Salt.
I thought, well, he was like one of my can't just because he's so funny, he's so smart and so well spoken.
And he's like a stand-up comedian himself.
Totally could be a stand-up comedian.
But he's denying it.
Has anyone? Can you remember anyone from Philly getting put up? See, that's I'm feeling like. Have you noticed it?
Germ. Yeah, they hit
Germ
they-
was put
They
up.
hit
Right.
Germ pretty good
They
with the
did
cranes.
get Germ pretty good. Yeah. Okay, that's the one Philly person. I'm not gonna say, but I had a weird thing happen yesterday, and that was I was on my phone and a message. Have you ever like sent a message to somebody? If you erase it before they read it, it's gone on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
But it's on your screen when you get to your phone, because you have push notifications, so you can have it. So I was on my phone and I got a notification to my Instagram account from somebody. I didn't see who it was. They told me so and so is Boro News, and I went straight to my page. I didn't even see who wrote it to me. I went straight to my page to see who it was so I could talk to them. And it was gone. It was like somebody just was like,
Shit,
"Hey,
dude.
this is
Who was it? You don't know who it was?
I don't want to say actually online because I'm thinking like, but yeah. So now so I started looking on this person's page, and they seem like a pretty smart person. And this is somebody I don't know real well. So that was part of the thing. It's like, okay, I don't know who this person is.
So you can't really accurately
So I can't
count them out.
I can't count them out, but I know that by their name alone and reputation, they've been in the game long enough to know they've worked with all the type of people that they're talking about. Yeah, so I don't know.
It's gonna come out at some point, you think?
But yeah. Well, because somebody has to have so much willpower not to tell anybody. I mean, it'd be so hard for me.
You'd be like, dude, it's me.
I'd want to tell people.
I know.
For the first week, I'd just be biting my tongue, and then it'd just be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, there was another story came up, and this is gonna hit with you. There was one on there about Mr. Smokes.
Oh yeah, I was glad I didn't get dragged
So
into that one. Dude.
you have firsthand experience with this because you worked for them.
Yeah, I was blowing glass in the back, so yeah, I got to see it all. But yeah, I mean,
And they started talking about the dab savers,
Yep.
which you basically made the first three under them.
And then I stopped making them because it was kind of a thing. I won't get that into too much of that, but
Dab saver.
But yeah,
I didn't even know what that was until
yeah,
today.
and
I was like, what the fuck is a dab saver?
This other kid started making them, and he kind of was the one that was predominantly making them. But yeah, I initially started making them, so I was really glad I didn't get dragged.
So is
into
that kind of
one.
like
They don't really work that well, right? I mean, you'd have to have a perfect fit cap.
I mean, it's not. It was something you just put on. It was kind of just a gimmicky
Was
thing.
it kind of like
so it wasn't for a carb cap? It was
No,
just
that's what it was marketed as, and
Okay.
that's kind of what I didn't like about it. I didn't like how it was marketed, but
was it kind of like one of Mattis Cookies like caps or something
Cooch
like that?
caps, yeah.
The cooch cap,
kind
like
of,
something
but
just
it
real
looks
simple.
exactly like a lifesaver, but it says dab saver.
Did you have a mold or something?
Yeah. He got a mold made,
Graphic
and,
or
no,
graphite
it was
or plaster?
actually, it was a metal mold, and it had like a pin in the top, and it just punched out the hole. It was pretty badass. Like actually, what it was, this crazy ass engineer. Actually, here, I'll tell a funny story about this. So the engineer dude that made this, it was like this old dude, and I won't put his name out there. I don't even remember his name, but it was this funny shit, dude. He came in to like ask me some questions about it and like what he thought how it would work. I was like, man, that's not gonna work at all. Like that's crazy, dude. You're not just gonna like punch a hole out of glass like that. It doesn't work like that. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." And it was kind of like this, this grumpy old dude.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. And he comes back and he brings back the arbor press or whatever, and he just fitted it for that. And he's like, all right, just heat up a ball and just I did that, and it worked. And I was like, dang, that was crazy. And then so he had this super old briefcase, and he fucking like opened his briefcase with like the schematics, and there was just like a bunch of gold watches and like a old ass fucking gun, dude. I'd never it looked like a fucking German Ruger or something, dude. And he was just like, yeah, here are the schematics. I was just like, damn, what the fuck what the fuck was that about, dude? But he was the coolest fucking dude ever, man. And he just, like I said, a genius engineer. And he was.
Do you have a German accent?
No, it was just Florida, bro. I mean, Florida is just weird.
Well, I could be retired.
I was the only person in Florida that didn't have a gun. Right? Yeah. His gun choice was just unique.
Florida is a huge vacation destination for Germans.
Oh, really?
Cape Coral is mostly populated by Germans, and there's German restaurants. Everything.
I don't know what kind of gun. It just looked like something I saw in like Band of Brothers or something.
Yeah, totally. A Luger.
So moving on with your story. You were making these things with the mold. So.
Oh, yeah.
So go on.
Tell us the funny part of that story. No, I'm just joking. No, it's a suitcase. It was just the craziest shit.
Oh, no, that was it, And then I started realizing that, maybe I shouldn't tell the rest of this story on the air.
Oh, that's what we want. That's what we want.
No.
Come on.
No, that was pretty much it. Just like his fucking sketch. I mean, he had a fucking bag full of gold watches and like just like a fucking sketchy gun. But yeah, there was some other shit. But
he just made this tool for you.
But yeah, he did make the tool.
And you're getting it back.
I'm sorry. The cool part about the tool was that the dude that etched, and I don't know how true this is. It doesn't make much sense to me. But according to the engineer, the guy that etched the top of it is the same dude that made like the original Lifesaver mold. And so I was like, well, that's kind of a cool little aspect.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what.
That seems crazy because Lifesaver's been around since World War I or some shit.
Yeah, so I don't know how.
Again, this guy's German. I mean,
shit.
I don't know, dude.
But they pulled it out of nowhere.
No,
I don't know if there's any Nazi shit.
So you're saying the Lifesavers were made by Nazis? Put him on the spot.
No, not at all. Because I made them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going back to Mr. Smokes.
Yeah.
They're a head shop, you say, and the story on the
honestly,
Bora,
I don't think they're open anymore.
Yeah, I don't think
so
they're
the story
open
on the Bora news was the father they bought the head shop for his son instead of a Lamborghini or something like that. It was some funny story.
Yeah, I think it was really just like a comment. It was like again, they're just like an example of people that get into glass without the background. And they're just I think people that buy their way into the glass scene. And
they bought a bunch of heavy. You said they bought a ton of work.
Brazilian's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of the first, and probably not the first, but like one of the major like first like breaths of like big industry breathing into our industry.
Yeah. Well, they came through an event and bought like a whole place out. Right?
Yeah. So basically, how I met them was they flew. I started making those alligators with a distributor out of Florida. They bought a bunch of them, liked them, and then they flew a bunch of artists out. To attend their opening, because it was a super rich dude is buying all this dude's shit, and I met him, and he was a cool enough dude, and he offered me a job, and so I moved out there, and like I said, I never have any.
It was a great experience.
I don't have any bad blood personally with Jamie. Like we had our own, little things here and there, but it was a good experience. But at the same time, I did see it for what it was, and I don't want to fully be associated with. What they were completely pushing out there. But at the same time, I got no bad blood with them. They're good people to me. But I was very glad I didn't get dragged into that post because,
we're gonna drag. I'm gonna go in there and comment.
Yeah, I didn't want to be roasted as Mr. Smokes. Boro News, you can roast me as Aaron.
They could have been like they had their gift, Aaron in the back room pumping out dab savers.
I actually would have laughed at that shit, but yeah, no.
After we took his ball gag out,
I do think the Philly area has gotten off a little light. There's a lot of egos in the Philly area.
So you think it's a Pennsylvanian?
I don't know. I'm like afraid. One of my theories is that it could be a Philly person, and they don't want to write anybody up because they'll kind of show their.
They're all neighbors.
They're all neighbors. Well, they're all neighbors. They'll kind of be like, "Oh, he gave me shit about that." Or
maybe.
I don't know. I just feel like
I'm gonna be in Philly tomorrow, this whole weekend actually. So maybe I'll start planning.
Do you want to do some investigative reporting for Breaking Glass?
I'll do some recon.
All right, cool. Yeah, so just throw out some lines.
Start walking around.
Just kind of fish.
Are you bored?
Totally.
Because I mean, I do think like the whole Philly scene's gotten off a little light for as big as it is.
I mean, the germ one you kind of understand because that was a big deal.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. And the way he went about trying to do
well, it
that
sounded
was,
like, you know, like at least from it sounded like he's gonna start sending them stuff out. Like the Boro News actually did something, you know.
oh, did it? And
that's what I had read in their story or whatever. Like somebody had wrote them and it's like, oh look, Germ, you know, made a post about
oh really?
you know, about the whole Crane project. Now he's gonna start sending them out.
We only made like
I'm telling you,
he only made like 300 out of like 800 or something.
Oh, I
didn't make that many.
I have no idea. Yeah,
That almost again makes me feel like it's
that one's all foreign to me.
I'm thinking it's Philly. I think it could be a Philly person.
What's gonna happen when somebody does get outed? Whoever it is gets outed. Like, you know, it's just like, I can't imagine that guy's going to be like, oh shit, dude, everybody's pissed off.
yeah,
everywhere he goes, people are going to be like, oh, there's that cocksucker. Let me buy you a drink. Spit in it. Like,
I'll buy him a drink.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can be stoked.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
like
I think it's hilarious.
Whoever did it is a genius. They're smart as shit.
Yeah.
They crack me the fuck up. Like I said, I do believe some of them are lighter than others, you know.
Yeah, some of them are just meant to be. I mean, but that's also the funny part. I mean, just
I wonder if this person actually has problems with some
of
of these people. This person writing it might actually have problems with certain people, and then some people he just loves and just wants to fuck with them.
I don't think they do. I mean, if they do, it'll be we'll know when it comes out. But my gut still is like, it's an observationalist like humor where they've seen all this stuff happen. It's not like these are all personal vendettas against people. I don't think it is. I don't think they're that. I think it's somebody who actually sees some of the faults of the industry and is. I think it's like a real,
just kind of airing out the dirty
laundry and like putting a spotlight on it. And I don't think it is somebody. I mean, it might be somebody that has like a little bit of an attitude for sure, but. There's something about me about it. I don't think it's personal.
There's one or two on there. I actually don't know who the people are.
Oh yeah. So, well, because they pick it like the
some of the industry stuff. I don't like actually know.
Like the ones like on an internet personality.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't know who that is.
He looked like a funny guy, but yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, he took a dab through a bottle of sriracha
through his nose. Yeah, I'm sure they'll have to do one like dabbing Granny or something.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I was like, okay, when are you gonna talk about dabbing Granny? Because that'd be a good one. But
there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Internet personalities.
A bird out that window. He's getting ready to smack into the window. Anything else about the Bora news? I mean, we kind of covered it. We just wanted to talk about it. And
yeah.
Anybody, if you guys have any questions about it, or if you guys have any insight, if you guys know who it is,
please feel free to
and don't delete your message.
Well, don't delete. Yeah, we got breakingglass.show. You know, you can send us some info if you know anything.
Yeah,
you got any
send
stories?
us in that. Everybody out there. We're recruiting you to be our investigative reporters.
Yeah, we're looking for. We need some help.
And even if what we would really like to do is secure a phone interview with the person that runs the Boro News to have them on Breaking Glass. And even if they want to remain anonymous, we can make that happen.
Yeah,
but
that'd be awesome. You guys maybe like slow down the voice or something.
You can put one of those one of those things on their voice.
We would love it. Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll come to Philly and film it. But you know the email address. Breakingglass.show. That's the website. You can get to the email from there.
That's the landing page for everything.
Yeah. Really. I don't know any of that stuff.
I can't think of the email address right now.
Here we go. The website is breakingglass.show. The Instagram is breaking_glass_podcast. And Facebook, just breakingglass.show. All one word.
Or Breaking Glass Show, one word.
Yeah, Breaking Glass Show, one word.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
So we're going to talk about our tool of the week this week. We kind of missed that earlier because we got into our Vegas talk and everything. But this week we got the good old-fashioned diamond shears. So, most glass blowers, it's traditionally a soft glass tool. I use it for Boro. I mean, but it's definitely traditionally for soft glass. It's made for, scoring your glass, knocking off your pieces. I use it to make goblets, and that's why I started buying them. This is a pair of Jim Moore ones. A lot of people use them for different things. Now, you just bought that new Fire Kiss double roller, which you love.
Vfinity rule.
And I've tried that, and honestly, I swear I can do it better with these.
I like those, too. That's what I use.
I think it's just because I'm so used to it. I'm so comfortable with them, and I've been using them for so many years. And I use them for a lot of things, for cut and all that stuff. But, I mean, when I'm making my goblets... and I puff a piece off and then I just score it and then I snap it off and it just works so well.
What do you snap off? What's for what?
Like when I make a goblet?
For the top of the goblet? For the mouth?
I blow my goblets on points. So I blow my bubble, I hold it in one hand, and I usually rest the other point in the other hand on the things, and I heat it up a little bit and I squeeze over it, twist it, and just pop it right off.
And then you open up the bell of the goblet
I use my jacks for that.
Okay.
And these things have just been around for so long, and so many people use them for so many.
Yeah, I use like literally every part of that. Like I'll even spin. I'll use this as like the handle spinner. Exactly. I'll hold it before I then I'll set it on my Marver, and then neck off what I need to neck off, and then
Well, there's so many. Like I said, there's lots of variations of these tools. They make cheap ones. They make nice ones.
I have the same.
The Jim Moore ones are a nice quality tool for what, like $120 maybe,
open
something
beers
like that.
With them.
Yeah, you can definitely open beers with them. But I mean, my first ones I ever used were the Carl O'Donas, which I don't have a pair of those. They're like $300.
Oh, I thought you said
I have Carl O'Dona tools, but I don't have a pair of Carl O'Dona diamond shears, which I wish I did. Like I said, this is actually a pair of small cup jacks. So most people, soft glass, a lot of those are, twice as big. They're a little looser almost even. These are actually a little stiff. I've had this pair probably for, 17, 18 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've had mine for like 5, 6. They're still running
I mean,
great.
You have a pair, or Josh... Or not Josh, but Todd has a pair out in the shop you use sometimes, right?
No, I have a pair.
Oh, you have a pair like this?
I have a pair like that, and I have another smaller pair.
And I have some cheap ones with like rubber handles, which I never got into any of the ones with rubber handles or anything like that. I always cared for these. But definitely shout out to Jim Moore. He makes a quality tool, and this is definitely something that any glass blower, if you're especially a new starting up glass blower, if you invest in a tool like this when you first start, if you get into using it and use it on a daily basis, it's a great thing to have. It's a great thing to put in your arsenal to use. So
I think it's one too where it's worth it to invest in a well-made one. You can get inexpensive versions. There's a pair out there for $35, $45. Eventually, they're not going to stay true. The steel doesn't take the heat very well. This is one where you need to bite the bullet and buy the more expensive Jim Moore diamond shear.
If you got the money, Carl O'Dona.
I finally just bought the Fire Kiss swivel, dude.
Oh, you did? Nice.
I mean, 8 years to buy that
For your blow tube?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's great, man. I love it.
I should probably get one of those. It's
going good.
I bought one new this year at Melt from ABR.
Oh,
it might have been
those little
Griffin's.
brass ones. They just, I'll use the graphite powder and shit in them to kind of keep them going. But I really like the Fire Kiss one. It's nice.
Are they stainless?
Right. He makes some nice stuff.
Oh yeah, all of his stuff is real nice.
Well, hopefully the next show we'll have some stuff from our other buddy.
We've got some tools being mailed in for us to talk about.
Yeah, we're trying to do the tool of the week, but we don't want to try to flood it with stuff that's unnecessary because a paddle's a paddle. A pair of tweezers,
paddle is still a well-made paddle.
I mean, you always say we talked about the tweezers. You said let's do the
tungsten
tweezers. We've already talked about this.
Yeah, those are the shit. Yeah, I love those.
Well,
they are.
Shout out to Diamond Shears. If you definitely have the means, pick yourself up a pair. It'll help you in the long run.
Yep, they're a useful tool for sure.
So, anything else coming up this week? Anything else going on? Anything else?
Really, me and Josh are working on a badass piece. You and I made a badass piece.
We made a piece on Saturday. We already sold it the next day.
Yeah,
that was pretty nice. Now you got to come back down. We need to make another one.
Fucking A, dude.
We need to make the same thing.
I like it. Yeah, right. Maybe just different colors.
Yeah, just different color. I need to try to find some green, that would work for that. Do that same pattern with some green.
Yeah, that would be maybe some heavy gold fume instead.
So
over black or something.
All right. Well, I guess we did pretty good here.
Yeah,
I think about a lot of stuff.
Yep, for sure.
Until next time, I guess
I'll be
sign
back.
off.
And we didn't have any. Just a quick again, people. We didn't have anything in the mailbag this week, so get those questions in. Send us some messages.
And be on the look for the giveaway.
Be on the lookout for our pendant giveaway. Hit us up and have a great week.
All right. Thanks a lot, and happy holidays.
Yep. Happy holidays.
Peace.
Peace.